I'm back. I feel bad for Jay Williams. He's the second best shooter on this show today. And the former Dookie ESPN college basketball analyst joins us now. Jay, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, DC. Hey, I got to talk to you about something. You ready?
Yep.
So when my article came out, I heard you kind of slam me. I heard you slam me back in the day when my New York Times article came out.
About what?
About the whole Bulls thing and about that whole ordeal about, you interviewed Charles Barkley asking about the whole marijuana thing. I heard you kind of slam me for it. That was interesting.
Well, refresh my memory on what I said, because I do 3 hours, so I don't know. I probably have an opinion on quite a few things that I may not remember.
No, it's all good, man. I thought you said something along the lines about I was only doing an article to increase visibility for myself. But it's all good. I get it. We all do radio.
Wait. I said that you did that for visibility?
That's what I heard.
Wait, you heard it or you heard it yourself?
No, I saw it in the paper.
That I said you did it for visibility?
Yeah.
Well, you had enough visibility. Why would you do that to get more visibility?
I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. I just wanted to clean the air with you because I love your show.
Oh, no. And hey, you have every right to say it. And if I said it, I'll own up to it. It seems kind of strange that I'd say you wanted visibility. You got visibility. I thought the story was pretty amazing considering what happened to you. What about the marijuana stuff? I'm trying to even think what I would have said about that.
No, it's just about guys, playing basketball in the NBA and how people didn't think that stuff actually goes on. So it's no worries at all, man.
What, marijuana?
Yeah, like all kinds of things happen. You know what I mean? When guys, professional athletes.
Oh, okay.
It's all good.
Okay.
I just wanted to clean the air.
All right.
Fresh start.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have you. But you know what, McLovin, would you Google that just so I at least have an understanding there?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything published by you and Jay, but that story in the New York Times, I do remember we definitely commented on it. It was a big deal at the time, a really good story profiling Jay.
Okay. All right, so Jay Williams from the Mothership joining us on the program. And, Jay, I'll say it again on record, you're the second best shooter on this show today. All right, I will own up to that.
I can't even shoot anymore, DP. I'm done, man.
You don't play anymore?
I play a little bit, but not as much as I used to. It's one of those weird things where if you can't do it at the level that I'm used to doing it at, then I don't do it as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's probably what Tiger's going through now, where you're certain standards, and you say, if I can't do that and do it comfortably, then I'm not going to do it at all.
Well, it's the thing. It's like, how do you want to remember the game you loved? And I know for me, I think that's why I kind of stopped trying to do the whole comeback thing, because it wasn't who I wanted to remember the game by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's difficult to come to that conclusion where you're like, oh, okay, well, now I have to do it this way. And it's fine, but is that the way I really enjoy doing it? So just different perspectives at different times in your life.
He's Jay Williams, ESPN college basketball analyst, joining us on behalf of Dove Men Plus Care and their new Real Strength Moments. The commercials airing throughout the NCAA March Madness Real Strength Moments campaign. Share your moments using the hashtag Real Strength on Twitter and Instagram. I was just talking about LeBron James. He may end up top 5 scoring and assists. What else does he have to do where he's in the conversation with Michael Jordan?
DP, I think it just all comes down for LeBron just to win championships. And it's a different generation these days. Obviously, people are saying, well, Jordan stayed on one team, and obviously LeBron, going from Cleveland to Miami, which he equated to Miami being more like college, him growing up, learning how to win, and going back to Cleveland. People are going to not feel too great about that, but the more championships he wins, the more people put him in that equation. I think regardless of championships, the guy is going to be one of the top 5 greatest players of all time. In my book, just you don't see guys do the things the way he does it. And the closest comparison you have is Magic Johnson, but Magic Johnson wasn't as, I don't know if he was as fluid as LeBron is. He was fluid, maybe fluid's the wrong word. You know what I mean? It was just, LeBron just seems like he's cut maybe physically from just a different kind of cloth.
Gino Auriemma's comments got a lot of play, where he talked about men's basketball. And I've been echoing those sentiments. It's hard to watch college basketball now. I watched the McDonald's All-American game the other night, Jay. I think they missed the first 8 shots. Now, I get you're nervous, but these are the best kids going into college. And the shot selection, just if you could say, let me pinpoint one thing, and if we do this as a college game, it will improve it greatly. What would you do?
It probably have to be. I would start off with the shot clock. The fact that we have a 35-second shot clock is outrageous. The women's game has a 30-second shot clock. So that goes to tell you everything you need to know right there. Even though it's an arbitrary number, I would rather go 28 just because I think that's a little bit slower than the NBA, but that's faster than the women's game. But, back to the Gino Auriemma comment, and everybody wanted to jump on that, but it's the same thing we've been saying for a long time, DP. The game is at a bad place right now, and granted, numbers are going to be high. We're going to have a great Final Four. Maybe we can see Duke and Kentucky in the national championship game, but that still doesn't fix our game. And, we need to make some changes, and we're going to need to in order to keep our game entertaining because some games are difficult to watch. I don't know if I would watch games if I weren't being paid to watch them sometimes.
Well, John Wooden said he would rather watch women's basketball than men's basketball just because of the purity. They move the ball. Now, granted, the reason why guys don't buy into women's basketball is we feel that we can do anything they can do, unless it's somebody who can dunk. But, Brittany Griner, other than that, you're going, all right, so what? But there is more spacing, better spacing, ball movement. I mean, if you just looked at the purity of the basketball that's played, women play a better game than the men do. Men are far more athletic. But look, Gino Auriemma said, look at me as just a fan, not a coach. You can't. You're Gino Auriemma, and you're a coach. And I just thought that, wow, that's weird. He's going to rip men's basketball, but he'd be angry if, guys ripped women's basketball.
No, I'm with you on that. But, when I watch the Spurs play or when I watch, OKC play, granted there's a 24-second shot clock, but you see the way that ball moves around. You see the way that team works together. And there's no reason college basketball can't be like that. And I know we're talking about less than 1% of the world in the NBA. Those are a lot more skilled players. But I can't watch games anymore, DP, where you bring the ball down the court, you run a set, you pull the ball back out, you run a set, and then you're like, oh, well, we have to go into screen and roll. You have 3 plays within one possession. That's crazy to me.
But they're overcoached. And I think what happens is these guys don't stay in college long enough to actually get coached. And then they go to the NBA. They haven't been coached. They weren't coached in high school or AAU and college for 1 year. And it seems like they micromanage in the NBA. They don't trust these kids to be able to go out there and just run an offense.
Yeah, I would say that especially on the collegiate level because these coaches have, they're able to dictate so much that actually occurs within the game. And these kids are pre-programmed to do that way instead of just reacting. And I think, the more you can react on the court, those are basketball plays. And the only way you can get better at reacting is by being in positions to react. And that first off starts with coaching. You're exactly right.
Why isn't Kentucky a good story, a feel-good story?
I think they're a great feel-good story. And maybe it's just because I like dynasties. I grew up being a Yankees fan. Obviously, I played basketball for Duke where people either loved me or hated me. And, John Calipari, the regular fans like, oh, he's a cheater. And I'm like, well, what is he really cheated on? I mean, granted, he had a situation at UMass that never actually came to fruition. I mean, they never were able to prove that. And then same with D. Rose's test at Memphis. But all the guy has done is win. Yeah. He's recruiting one-and-dones. As a player, I love him because he's helping kids achieve their dreams. And, we sit there and we want to crucify people about, oh, these kids are bad kids or kids who take money from agents. Please, the NCAA, is making more than $12 billion a year. It's out of control. So when you see your name and likeness being used everywhere within a sport, but then, oh, I'm sorry, an agent can't buy me McDonald's, and my whole college, time can be forfeited. I think that's absolutely erroneous. I think it's uncalled for. It's unfair.
He's Jay Williams. You can check out what he's doing with Dove Men Plus Care and their Real Strength Moments commercial airing through March Madness. Highlights moments of fatherhood, friendship. Visit DoveMenCare.com to view the commercials. You can also learn more. Use the hashtag Real Strength hashtag on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for clearing the air. I'm glad you came on. Don't be a stranger. And
no, I won't be a stranger. I'm a big fan of yours, man. I'm glad we talked about it. That's what life is. You talk through things.
Great respect.
That's real strength right there, right?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I will go back to see what was said there, just to be fair to the situation. But it took some you-know-whats to say it on national radio. So for you to say it to me.
I appreciate it. Thanks, TP.
All right. That's Jay Williams, ESPN college basketball analyst.